All right, so we have Tom Kosman from the Cottages joining us today. Thanks, Tom, so much for being here and taking the time to be with us, and really do appreciate it.
Hi, Nathan. Yep. Happy to do it.
Yeah, so let's get a little bit of background on the Cottages. Can you describe for us what the Cottages is?
Sure. The cottages were assisted living and memory care. We're located in Shawano, O'Connell Falls, and Marinette, Wisconsin. We have assisted living apartment complexes that are geared towards helping our seniors who can't live at home for one reason or another. Primary things we see probably are medication management or mismanagement. We provide all dietary needs, social interaction and engagement, some light assistance with, some activities of daily living. We also have memory care assisted livings on these campuses, which do a lot of the same things that the assisted living apartments do, but we also, the memory cares, we're dealing with, residents who are going down through that dementia journey. So primarily Alzheimer's type, but we can care for really all forms of dementia in that setting as well.
Yeah, okay. And for those of you watching, the Cottages is located kind of about an hour or two from where EasyShifts headquarters is in northern Wisconsin. The Cottages has a great reputation, and you guys are in a beautiful part of Wisconsin as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's start from the beginning. How were you scheduling your care staff before you started working with EasyShifts?
So immediately before EasyShifts, we were using a different online scheduling company. It was working okay, but it was pretty big and robust. It had a lot of what I like to call bells and whistles, and really things that really weren't necessary for us. Because prior to that, we were using paper. So really anything was a step up from using paper schedules. We still use paper timesheets, but so before EasyShifts, like I said, it was just it was a system that was, I don't know how geared it was towards healthcare. Like I said, it was sufficient, but it had, didn't have some of the things we needed, and had a lot of things, truthfully, we really didn't need to use.
Yeah. Do you remember how you first heard about EasyShifts?
One of my memory care directors is the one who did the research, to reach out to you, Nathan, at EasyShifts. Exactly how she heard, I apologize, I don't really recall. I want to say it was a staff member or a newer staff member that came to us and said, "Hey, with my other company, we use this one." And I think that's what got her looking into into you guys, and doing some research, and then getting me involved. I can't say that completely for sure, but that's what sticks in my head the most. And I know she did the research too.
Yeah, that's
To
what
find
kind of
you.
what I remember from her telling me as well. That's how she heard about us. So why did you decide to do business with us? Because like you mentioned, you were using that other program. It's kind of a big deal to switch programs, especially for a care facility.
It was kind of a multifaceted reason. Reason one, from the business side, EasyShifts was cheaper. It was a little over half the price of what the other system was. So that obviously made some sense. But really, the functionality of it is really what was our primary motivating factor. Like I said, the other system had a lot of things that we really didn't need. Something so simple as, in our buildings, if our staff aren't going to be available for a shift for any reason, they have to find their own replacement. So a lot of times what ends up happening is somebody will work half of one shift, and then the other shift might be picked up by somebody else. EasyShifts allows the staff members to make those changes on their own without management intervention. Our previous system couldn't do that. For as robust as it was, something, like I said, that seemed kind of simple, it couldn't do. And then the app was much more functional as well on EasyShift side for what our staff needed. The other company's app really wasn't useful at all. Couldn't do much. So really, from a functionality standpoint, it just made sense. EasyShifts is geared towards healthcare. Plus, truthfully, we're a small company. We like working with small local companies, and like you said, EasyShifts is, in the grander scheme of things, is down the road from us, where the other company was out on the West Coast. So we like to work with smaller companies. We feel the customer service typically follows, and so far, obviously, with EasyShifts, it has.
Yeah, a lot of the things you mentioned, we do really pride ourselves on. So we're glad that you noticed those things. So you kind of mentioned it already, but can you describe what it's been like working with us here at EasyShifts?
Yeah, I think it's been a really good partnership and relationship. To my knowledge, I'm not aware of any issues that have come up. I know I've contacted on a question of like, how do I do this? How do I do that? But that's going to be with any program. And EasyShifts has always been very accommodating, whether it's you, or somebody in tech support that I talk to kind of say, well, here's how you find this. And but for the most part, like I said, it's a pretty easy system to use. I haven't myself made many phone calls or sent many emails, inquiring about how to do something, because it's pretty straightforward as to navigate and to use. So I think it's been working really well. Partnership's been really good.
Good. Yeah, we're glad to have be in partnership with you as well. In what ways would you say you've gained the most value? Like in other words, what has been like the greatest benefit of using EasyShifts?
I think the greatest benefit of using EasyShift, like I said, has been just the ability of our staff to easily access their schedule from any place on different devices, along with our our management team and doing specifically payroll. We have a set procedure we have to do to get the schedules printed off and kind of compare the timesheets, because like I said, we use paper timesheets, so we have to compare that to something to make sure that they're accurate. So EasyShifts has made it really easy to print off those previous 2 weeks of schedules, compare them to the timesheets, make sure it all matches up, enter it in payroll, and move on to the next person. So that those things have definitely helped.
Great. Yeah. Great to hear that. So why should somebody watching this video right now take action instead of waiting?
Well, technology, whether we like it or not, is the wave of the future. I think the ability for staff to be able to have their schedule in hand, no matter where they are, versus relying on a piece of paper or contacting the facility or building or wherever it is that they work, it carries an extra benefit for that person and for that team. Like I said, it's coming, and I think the sooner somebody embraces it, the better off they are. Any change is difficult. I know sometimes people are not technologically savvy. I don't pretend to be overly techie myself. I can dabble just fine. But it was really pretty quick and seamless to learn, and to get our staff used to. So I think it's just a matter of once you start using it, you realize the benefits of having all those things, and then you wouldn't want to be without it.
Yeah, very good. All right, this is great. So, if someone watching this wants to learn more about you, the cottages, what you guys are doing, where can they find you?
So online, our website is www.thecottagescare.com. The Cottages Care is all one word, no spaces, no marks or anything. We also have a Facebook page. Actually, we have a few Facebook pages. Each one of our locations has their own dedicated Facebook page. So if you search the Cottages, or the Cottages Shawano, Connell Falls, or Marinette, those will get linked to our pages. I don't have a problem if anybody reaches out to me. My email it's on our website and on Facebook anyway. Tom, the letter K, at thecottagescare.com as well.
All right, good. And we'll put those things in the description to this video wherever people find it, in LinkedIn or YouTube, wherever it might be. But Tom, this has been great chatting with you today. Thanks again for joining me on this call.
Yeah, no problem, Nathan. Thanks for having me.